You overhear some people who are actually talking about a different subject, just casually a different subject, and they're like reading. They are just like chatting with each other, and they says, "Did you hear? Some quack actually is trying to open some sort of school in his basement. Really?
Let's go."
Is that even legal? I don't think so. But yeah, apparently he's trying to have like all these houses and everything, and it just seems really weird.
Are we all together?
And I heard this, right?
I'm gonna say you're together, but right now only Levi and Juan have heard it.
These are two students? Are they two boy students?
I'm gonna say that it's two girl students. We're gonna say these two girl students.
Punch them.
Yeah. No, I'll be like, hey. I'll just say, hey, nothing's wrong with that. My father's like opening up a school for like squibs.
Oh, really?
Really?
Sounds like a bad idea.
Squibs aren't allowed to go to magic school.
Yeah, well, he's opening it up in London. Like, they're gonna like learn all the stuff we learn, all the cool stuff we get to do, and they can excel in stuff probably like runes and stuff.
But they can't cast spells. I don't get it.
Yeah,
Well, you don't need to cast spells to be, magical.
there are stuff that you can do with that magic.
All right, fair enough. So wait, he's opening a school in London?
Yeah.
Does he know this guy that's opening in his own basement? I mean, look at this, he says, and she's holding up like this article that they're reading about somebody who's having basically a school like in their basement, and they can show like Joe's photo on it.
Oh, okay. And be like, all right. So once Levi realized that they're speaking about his father, and be like, hey, you guys need to close this, and be like, you guys are gonna stop talking about him right now, all right, or we're gonna have a problem.
He's a muggle. Even he's not even a wizard or witch. He's a muggle. Teaching.
Yeah.
Can I see that article real quick? Can I see it?
Yeah. You'll let me know.
Roxanna's gonna open it and she's like, and then closes it slowly, tears it up, lets it fall to the floor, and she's like, what a lovely man.
Yeah, well, that muggle you were reading about just taught the person who won the game everything he knows. So, I mean, take that for what it's worth.
Oh, well, sorry, Leo champion. Sorry, we didn't mean to, offend anyone or anything. We just thought it was kind of strange.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Levi, come on, let's calm down. Let's not get into trouble. They already know. Just don't go criticize everything. And you, Levi, come on. You are the hero of tonight. Let's go grab something to drink and eat. Come on.
Yeah, I'm the hero of tonight because of Joe, and I leave.
I go up beside him and I want to nudge Levi and say, your dad sounds like a really cool guy.
Yeah, he is pretty cool. He's taught me like all the cool stuff I know, And those two girls are lucky they weren't boys, or we would have had big problems. They had to see why he calls me the champ. You know what I'm saying?
First of all, you shouldn't hit anyone, and second of all, would you like me to go? I'm a pretty mean, right?
Nah. Let's not get disqualified or nothing. But yeah, those girls are off my list. Those are two girls I definitely don't want to talk to.
Whoa, that really surprises me. You must be really angry.
Hey, I have standards. You have to be alive, and you have to not make fun of my fathers.
Pretty good standards, I have to say.
Oh, is that all I have to do to make you stop talking to me? I kid. Don't talk.
Nah, Rox, nothing can get me to stop talking to you.
Oh, great.
Come on, guys. Let's party.
You guys are going to party for a bit. The band is going to be starting playing some traditional Russian music.
Oh, yeah.
So there's the Russian dance music where, people are like doing their kicks and stuff. And so...
Yeah, I want to take Roxanna and be like, okay, Roxy, I showed you my culinary art. What do you eat here in Russia?
Well, interesting you ask. And she's going to bring him over to the table, and there's lots of meat-based stuff there. And she's going to say, all right, it's a cold night, so you can't go wrong with some beef stroganoff. But if you're looking to get a little bit zesty, there is a variety of sweet and sour sauces. And the things that...
Straight reading a menu.
That's fine.
That's okay. She said it. It's fine. And with the sweet and sour sauces, there's like little pickies and things like that. So
That was the best.
that's so fun. Oh my god.
I'm gonna try one bite out of everything and be like, you know how to eat here in Russia. I like my meat. But I'm sorry, the Mexican is better.
Just bring chili flakes next time. Spice it up a little bit.
I will.
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely
See?
will.
I know these things. I would do like some dancing, but at some point I do want to slip away unnoticed to go and talk to Alec.
I would just like go find my brothers and like talk to them and be like, oh, we gone because of me. I'm basically the team captain, so I was leading everyone and just talk with my brothers about how great everything is.
You were great, Juan. I was a little, is what Skylar says. I was a little disappointed that Pakwaji is now last place, but I think we can pick up at least, maybe tie with you by the end of this.
Oh yeah,
Tie?
definitely.
Carlos says, I don't want this to end in a tie. There needs to be a clear winner. And right now, Wampus is 100 points above everybody else.
Calm down. Skylar, I'm sure that Pakwaji will do fine. They are a very strong team, actually. I'm gonna tell you a secret, don't tell anyone. The teams, we were having conversations about doing an alliance against your team, so you should know that we know that they are strong.
Against my team, Skylar says.
Yeah,
What?
they are very strong.
Well, we are, and we'll be stronger in the next events, Skylar says.
Definitely. But, well, while I'm here, I'm just going to do my best. And yeah, I'm gonna keep winning. So, hopefully you will get second place. Oh, and come on. Let's go dancing. Not this way, dance.
Okay, while everybody's still partying, this is actually the moment that Alexander wanted to speak with Roxanna, which is perfect because everybody's partying, so nobody's going to be in the common room anyway. So while halfway through the party, Roxanna ducks away to go to the common room of Kolvorets. You are waiting by the fireplace.
Pacing nervously.
Yep. And then suddenly, right on the time that Alex said that he would message you, you start to see the ashes start to rise up a little bit, and it forms his face, his angular features. Roxy, are you there?
Here. And she squats down by the fire.
Sorry that it took a while for me to contact you, but I'd rather that we talk face to face, so to speak, instead of by owl. I needed to set this up, so I don't really have that much time, but I think we should talk. You asked me about whether or not our father had been to Asia. Or Japan, rather.
Japan specifically, yes.
The truth is, I don't know if he was in Japan specifically, but he did tell me that he had business in Asia during that time. But Asia's a very large place.
Well, I think that kind of confirms it for me anyway.
What are you thinking?
One of my teammates, their parent was murdered by a Russian Death Eater in Japan.
And you think our father would have had something to do with that?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. How many Russian Death Eaters could there be?
I'd like to think there are several.
There were several there that day. He took something very important, and if he his it, I think it's dangerous. What he has, it's very important. Look, if you know anything else, you have to tell me.
I know he was looking for something.
What was he looking for?
I tried asking him, he wouldn't tell me, but he said he was trying to find it. Actually, no. I asked him if he was looking for it for you-know-who. He never actually told me whether he was or wasn't looking for it for you-know-who.
When did this conversation happen?
A few years ago, before the war ended.
Was this before or after we were spoken to?
I found out after. And if you're wondering about that interview I had with the AMRS, I did again tell them the truth that I didn't know where he was. Because I didn't.
What about now?
I used to know.
Alec.
I don't anymore.
Okay. Just so I can process this in my head.
I know that I saw something that day at the Quidditch World Cup. And I remember seeing something. But, Roxy, I don't remember it anymore. And you and I know why that's the case, that I don't remember it anymore.
He obliviated you.
To protect me, I'm sure.
Uh-huh.
He probably knew that
Of
they would ask me these questions, so of course he would. Did I ask him to do it, or did he volunteer, or did he just do it on his whim? I don't know, because I don't remember.
Where was he last?
North America.
Where in North America?
Somewhere in the south. Santa Fe, Louisiana, somewhere there. New Orleans?
Who else knew about this? Did you tell anyone?
No, I haven't told anyone. The MRS hasn't asked me any questions since then.
Alec. Why would you not go straight to them?
Because I can't.
What do you mean you can't?
Look, I know that Mother and Natasha have disowned him. I can't, Roxanna. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't just turn him in like that and tell them everything I know. And even if I did, I don't think I know enough information for them to catch him anyway. So what would the point be?
He killed people. He tore our family apart. There is no coming back from that.
Roxy, I will tell you everything I know, and I have. But that...
Except for that part. You left that out. Come on. Grow up. And she's like just kind of putting her head in her hands and like rubbing her temples.
Look, I wanted to talk to you, so we're talking now. So if there's anything else you want me to say or ask, I don't have much time left.
All right. why did Finn confront you in the hallway that night?
He thinks that our father killed his father.
Well, I thought it was something like that.
And no, I don't know if he did or didn't.
Oh, he probably did.
That didn't mean that he needed to know where he was at the time. I wasn't the one that killed his father. And I don't know for sure if it was our father who did it too.
Just quickly out of character, the thing I wrote in my sheet about Natasha and what she saw, if you remember that, was that something that still happened? But basically, Natasha saw Bartholomew kill somebody in their basement.
That probably happened,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
That probably did happen. And Natasha probably said something to you.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, but she didn't recognize who it was.
Yeah, no.
But you could probably put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah. I just don't see how you can defend this person. I really don't.
You might not like it, Roxy, but I'm trying to stay as neutral as possible. And I'm trying to be loyal to both you and the rest of our family at the same time. And that's not a very easy thing for me to do, okay? So I really appreciate it for you now to make it even harder.
It's a very simple choice, Alec. Bartholomew is the kind of person who kills a man in the home where his children sleep. Our family home. He killed somebody there. Your sister, our sister, saw all of it.
He's still our father, and I can't betray my family.
Look, there's loyalty, and then there's doing what's right. It's hard.
Well.
There are things I regret. But you know what? I'd still do them. Because they were right. You
All
are
right.
better than this.
I have to go, Roxy.
Okay.
We'll talk again.
All right.
Also, you have a little something on your face. I don't know if you knew that. He says. He says.
And she starts to wipe it away, and she's like, "Oh, we've on Quidditch today."
Oh, I didn't realize you were on the team now. Did you go up against Svarog?
Well, not really. Basically, it was a Quidditch match for the tournament I told you about. It was a 3-way.
Oh,
Quidditch
that.
match. Yeah.
So you beat Finn.
I did.
That's my sister, he says with a grin.
It's not much of a victory. We owe it to Finn. He taught us how to play properly.
Still, you still won. Regardless.
I still won. I didn't do much.
Well.
They nearly lost because of me. So.
I find that hard to believe. Not with the crowd behind you. I would think that they were crowding behind you.
They were, but I don't know. I just let my emotions get in the way of my better judgment and did exactly the opposite of what I should have done.
Everyone loves you, Roxanna. People listen to what you say. You should embrace that. Use that to your advantage. It might do you some extra good. I have to go. And as he says that, he has to go.
Yeah.
But you can repeat what you're saying as he's disappearing.
She says everyone loves me because I'm a jerk.
And we'll end the scene there. The party is in full force, which actually is on the upper parts, the Court of the Sky area. of the school. And Chance and Nico, unfortunately, are spending the time over at the wards, being attended to by Chogan.
Levi, are you heading there for Chance or not yet?
Chance is at the one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Correct, it's both Chance and, they're both at the ward currently. The party's going on at the same time.
Then
So-
I'll definitely go check up on Chance.
Yeah, I would head that way too.
Yeah, I'll go back and try to find Ajika.
Before Albion heads off to go to the wards, you're going to be stopped by Chesa Jing. She will give you a very respectful bow and say, Albi-kun, I have to say I was impressed by your quick wit out there in the field.
He would bow when she greeted him and let out kind of a sigh of relief still. I think he's still getting over everything. He said, thank you so much. He said, I unfortunately didn't get to really see you playing much because in that 30 seconds there were 2 bludgers coming at me, and next thing I know I was off the tree. But it was a lot more thrilling than I had anticipated. But I'm happy we did well and happy I didn't hurt myself. But I'm sure you did fine. I know Nico scored on you, but he is probably the best Quidditch player we've got at Mahotokoro, or at least one of the best, so you can't be too upset with yourself.
She looks surprised when you say that. And roll a what would the insight? Observe. Yeah, roll an observe insight, I guess.
10.
Do you think the reason why she has that surprised expression on her face is because you hit something that was very true? Knowing Chesa from at least what you know from afar, she's the kind of person who is very self-critical of themselves, especially if they underperform and don't do what they believe is the bar that should be set for themselves. So you like saying something at the end, it wasn't, you did great, kind of took her aback because that wasn't what she was thinking in her head at the time. But she very quickly reverts back from the surprise on her face, and she says, Nico is a very difficult and challenging opponent. That certainly was his wheelhouse, I suppose. I have to do a lot more training between now and the next event to prepare myself better than I did before.
He says, I'm sure we've all got a lot of preparation. And any ideas what you think they have in store for us? I mean, it's kind of our home field advantage, so all eyes are going to be on us.
That's a very good question. I think for most people, when they think about Asian cultures in general, they immediately think academics. And while that can be a bit of a stereotype, Mahotokoro has a saying where we can't all just be dependent on one aspect of ourselves. Not just the mind, but the mind, body, and spirit. I have a feeling whatever challenge they throw at us is going to have to be a balance of all three, to some degree. That doesn't make it any easier to train for. She looks very, frustrated at that.
You're probably exactly right, but I mean, how many other Mahotokoro students do you see in gold robes? And he just kind of looks at her knowingly, expecting she's gonna do well.
That's all anyone really sees, right? Gold is, it's not a very mute color. You kind of stand out like a sore thumb in the crowds.
He kind of shrugs, hoping he didn't want to pigeonhole her or stereotype her, so he kind of shrugs in case he hit a nerve. But he would then say, well, I mean, look at that last event. I never would have thought in a Quidditch match of all things that I would have been able to earn my team points. So it was kind of relieving knowing that they're not only looking at your specific performance, but they're looking at you as a whole person. So, just be yourself, and I'm sure you'll find the way that you can help your team.
That's very nice of you to say, Albion, but I can't really be myself. Not really.
Why not?
Well, I have a responsibility. Everyone's watching you when you're golden robes. You're supposed to set an example. I can't really worry so much about being myself. I have to set a good example. Everyone expects you to be a certain way, act a certain way. You never really get a break. It's what is expected of me. And unfortunately, like you said, look around. There aren't very many students in gold robes. So it can be very lonely in that position. Especially when all eyes are watching you. There's a lot of pressure.
He would give kind of a knowing chuckle, like not that he's laughing at her, but like he gets it deep within himself, and he kind of shakes his head. And I never really thought of it that way. But even though my robes aren't gold, I kind of understand exactly what you're saying. I mean, being in the public eye with my dad being, a ministry official, I guess it's kind of the same thing. I mean, not trying to diminish all of your academic efforts that you've put into this, but I understand what you're saying.
She nods as if she knows, if she agrees. There's high expectations set for you, and appearances are everything, right?
Unfortunately.
They all just want you to be perfect all the time. And sometimes people watch just to see if you'll slip.
At this point, he's gonna try to exit out because he is worried about Nico. But before he kind of wraps it up, he's gonna say, we both want to represent our houses well, our school well, and being that this next event's in Japan, I'm there if you need any help with anything. Not that, aside from herbology, I don't know how I could help you academically, but, especially with this next event, I just want you to know that I've got your back, and you don't even have to help me in return. But I think it'd be good if you, Nico, and I represent our school well coming up. And we're going to do it if we work together. I mean, we all come from different houses, so we all bring something different to the table.
She'll smile. Well, I can see that you clearly are in a hurry for something, Albion, so I'm not going to keep you any further.
Yeah, I want to go check on Nico. I think he got pretty injured, and he would bow before he leaves.
You would bow, and as you're leaving, the smile that Chesa had slowly turns into a frown. You catch that just as you're leaving, as if with your insight, to feel that there was more she wanted to talk about and confide in you about, and she's a little disappointed that you have to leave so soon before she has a chance to confide in you about it.
All right.
Yeah, I want to go talk with Ajika.
Aika. I'm going to say that Aika is chatting with Zuberi, who is the head of your house, just to remind you. Professor Zuberi is the blind professor.
Yeah.
And as well as a strong empath. And when you arrive, they're kind of talking about the events of the Quidditch match as well. And I'm going to say that Zuberi has a mug of coffee, or something that's resemblance to coffee, in his hand, is that he's taking slow sips of.
When I get close, I will be like, Professor Zuberi, so nice to see you here.
What? Congratulations on your victory, he says. I can sense an exhilarating burning from within you. Clearly, you must be very excited.
I would not say exhilarating, but that I am pretty happy. I mean, it was all a team effort. Actually, no, I almost didn't do anything. It was all Levi, but we won, and I really feel excited.
Don't be so modest, he says. Our house, we are the house of leaders. And sometimes the house of leaders are supposed to empower those in their group. We don't always have to take credit for everything just because we are the leaders.
You're right, Professor. Hajika, how are you feeling? You got second place.
I feel pretty good, though to be honest, you still have 100 points over us.
I mean, it was just Quidditch. I always thought that part of Quidditch is pretty unfair. You get this niche, the game ends, and you get 150 points. That's a lot.
Most Quidditch games last longer than 30 minutes, though, Aika says.
30 seconds, I think it was. Don't worry about it.
Yes, I remember. I was there.
I just wanted to say thank you for the potion. Without it, I would freeze to death, I'm sure.
Zuberi will say, yes, congratulations on the sportsmanship points that you got for your team, Aika. That makes me I'm very proud of you for that. I had some extra and I was just going to dump it out anyway, he says, just kind of brushing it off.
I've always heard that you're very good with all of that stuff, but actually tasting one of your potions, I might, if it's not troubling for you, I'm not doing very good at potions. You could give me a hand someday.
I think I might be able to do that, Aika says. What would you give me in return? Just out of curiosity. Just out of curiosity.
I mean, you can ask for any favor. I don't have anything in mind right now, but if you need help in anything, I mean, I'm here.
A favor. I think I will take you up on that.
Very well then.
It might be useful having a favor owed, he says.
In his mind, Juan is going to be like, that's why I didn't hang out with him, that's cool. And now I'm scared.
What sort of favor have you in mind? Professor Zuberi asks. Well, you see there, that would be a secret. And I don't reveal secrets very easily, Aika says.
No, you really like your secrets.
Secrets are important.
I'm not denying that. Secrets are important. I've always thought that, there are persons that says that secrets destroy relationships. I would like to think that actually a lot of times secrets saves them. They keep things from going bad. I mean, there's some specific things that you don't actually need to know, that knowing would actually hurt you. So I think that secrets have their place in the world, yeah.
Knowledge is power, Aika says. And those who know things versus don't know things, that can be the difference between peace and war. Much conflict, he says, are both avoided and spurned based on what secrets are revealed and which secrets are not.
So, from all this talk, I'm guessing that if you had any idea of what the new test will be, you wouldn't tell me, right?
Absolutely not. You are the team to beat. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
I would be out of my mind to reveal that sort of information.
Hey, I have to ask,
At this point that some of the guests, you will notice, starts getting a weird case of the hiccups. Yep. And I'm going to say that the first person who starts hiccuping is actually Naila. And you notice that as she is hiccuping, this mist emerges from her mouth. This pink-orange, salmon-colored like mist. And the mist takes the form of a hummingbird as she's hiccuping. And Aika grins quite a bit when he sees this. And he continues enjoying the plate of food that he has as he's grinning at this.
Whoa! I didn't knew that she could do that.
Somebody else starts hiccuping as well. This time it's actually Chesa who's hiccuping. And she's hiccuping this from a mouth, a mist that looks like a cross between a fox and a human. Japanese culture knows this as the kitsune, which is like a fox-like mythological creature. And then try Tessa. She's also hiccuping across the way, and from her mouth emerges a peacock. A misty-looking peacock.
I'm gonna be like, okay, something weird's going on. Did someone put something in the drinks like Roxanna with the toads the other day?
Aika seems to himself.
I'm gonna be like, Aika, you wouldn't know what happened, right?
I know a lot of things, my friend. I know a lot of things.
Okay.
Aika, Professor Zaveri grins a little bit. Come on, Aika. I may be blind, but I'm not deaf. Touché, Aika says, as he continues biting a piece of a wrap sandwich that he's eating at the moment. It's harmless, don't worry, he says.
Okay, I'm definitely not drinking anything this night. Thank you, Aika.
He said, I just wanted to get a sneak peek at other people's Patroni.
I knew it.
Wait, there's a potion that lets you see the Patronus of people?
Sneak preview. What could very well be, assuming they aren't able to cast it yet.
How about we both try it? I mean, that is harmless fun.
He says, oh, I already know mine. But yours, I'm very curious about. What secrets do you have from within, Juan? Secrets that not even you are aware of, I wonder.
Okay, now I'm definitely not gonna try it. See you around, Ajika.
See you around, he says, smiling. And Zuberi will also wave towards your direction. Enjoy yourself. Today is your day.
Goodbye, Professor Suberi. When Juan is leaving, he's actually going to go to the drinks and pour a glass and just stare at it and be like, maybe later. He's gonna take it with him, just not drink it
You
yet.
can take it with you. All right. Meanwhile, I'm gonna say that both Levi and Albion are heading to the wards. Okay. When you arrive to the wards, you immediately overhear Chance call out, "Give it to me straight, Doc. Tell me how much longer I have in this cruel, cruel world." He's being like overly dramatic right now. And Chogan chuckles a bit. "Enough with the theatrics now, Mr. Gallagher. You're going to be fine. Nothing that a little bit of bed rest will not fix." I know. But if I'm going to be here, stuck in this ward all to my lonesome... "Hey, buddy, you got me," Nico says. And he's over in the other bed, lying down. And he's got a little bit of a... I'm gonna say it looks like a sling kind of thing on his shoulder. Hey, you've got me. And he says, "Oh, yes, that's true, that's true. Although it would be, I have to say, as entertaining as you are, Nico, I would miss my friend Levi too much."
Oh, someone likes me.
All right, so as we approach, I would just kind of nudge you and be like, "Oh, you hear that? Your friend misses you."
That's the first time he's ever said that, so I don't know what's gotten him. He must have really took a big hit.
So I assume we'll be within range then that they'll see us, and I assume are there like chairs or somewhere we can sit near them?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'll take a seat near Nico's bed.
And
Go
Levi
ahead.
would just stand next to Chance's bed.
All right. You stand next to Chance's bed. Nico will speak up and say, hey, buddy. Good to see you. You didn't have to come all the way over here. You should be enjoying the party, mingling with some of the girls or some of your adoring fans."
He just kind of laughs. No, I had to come check on you. I saw they took you off this way. Surprised it's not me in that bed, but I wanted to make sure you were okay.
Well, Finn definitely took a little bit of a number on me just before I scored. Dislocated my shoulder quite a bit.
Well, hopefully you'll
It's
be...
all right.
Go ahead.
I've been worse in other Quidditch games. This isn't a big deal.
Well, hopefully you'll be ready to go for the next event. I mean, back at Mahotokoro.
Yeah, that's exciting. Going down to our neck of the woods. I gotta say though, I'm pretty sure Chesa has that one beat.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll do well, but we'll see. Who knows what they'll throw our way. So how's Chance doing over here?
Albion, he has his eyes shut right now. Is that you? I can't see you. He's like waving around. Everything's going dark.
Levi's gonna put his hand like on his like little shoulder and be like, "Can we get a nurse? He's in trouble over here. He needs help."
Chogan says, "Are you sure you gentlemen? Chance is fine. He just enjoys hamming things up a bit." "I'm not a bit of a ham. I just like being the center of attention. What's wrong with that?" "Oh, Levi, there you are."
So what'd you hurt, Chance? Did you hurt your back carrying your team? You know what I'm saying?
"Oh, that wallop of the bludger. Not very fun, especially when you're about the same size as one. Nearly knocked me off of my tree, which is pretty darn difficult considering how much larger the tree is compared to myself."
You should have jumped on the bludger and just rode that thing around.
"Oh, lost opportunity."
Yeah, you
I
could have had
probably
like
would have figured. Maybe after 40 seconds, I would have figured that out, Levi.
yeah, you could have jumped on that and then Finn, could have hit it around and get you closer and closer to the snitch.
Oh, yes. That would have been a wonderful idea until I end up on the wrong side of the Bludger Club.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, rocks would have killed you. So you're lucky. You should have done that. But did you see that I actually caught the snitch? And I still have it, right?
Yeah, you still have it.
Yeah, and I pull it out and show him, be like, "Look at this thing. I caught that."
Oh, so that's what a snitch is like up close. I can't say I've ever seen one this close so far, because they're normally zipping around so quickly.
Yeah, you ever held one?
Well, no, I never have.
I'll let him hold it for a little bit.
Says he upraises it a bit. Well, this one in particular is not actually made of gold. Oh, but it's a good substitute, though.
What's it made out of? I always thought they were gold. They look gold to me.
Well, the original ones were made with gold, but I mean, since then, I suppose, especially for a school, they have to be more practical, so it's more of an alloy.
Alloy, yeah, that's the same thing like Wolverine has for his claws, yeah?
Wolver who?
Come on, Chance, you don't know Wolverine? I brought him up like 1,000 times within the year. Wolverine, the X-Men who can heal, has got like super sharp claws, you don't remember?
I nearly got a concussion out of there, Levi. I don't remember much of anything.
Oh my boy's got a concussion. Can we help him with this concussion, please?
I ran all the tests. He says, I had ran all the tests, Mr. Lionheart. I assure you, Chance is just fine.
How long are they going to have to be here? I mean, they're missing out on the party.
Yeah, I was hoping I could get some cake or something.
You know, I'm surprised your sister's not here. Maybe she's bringing you something.
You just missed her. She actually was here, and she's getting me she's getting me a plate of food.
Priorities.
He says she beat you to me, Al. That's okay. She's doing her sisterly duties.
I mean, I was on my way, and Chesa actually stopped me.
Trying to get some intel, was she? Trying to get whatever advantage she's got. I'm telling you, that girl, she can definitely, she will definitely do anything in her power to win.
Yeah,
Still a bit salty, I'm sure, from the last encounter we had.
Actually, our conversation wasn't. I didn't get that from her. I think she was still a little disappointed with herself. I mean, you did score the only goal against her, so she was the only keeper that wasn't able to defend her hoops. Not that I would have been able to if anyone would have come my way, but I think she was.
The girl gets straight A's and everything. You know, this is good for her. It's about time that she feels what it's like to be second, for once.
He kind of shrugs. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think there's more to her than we gave her credit for, but we'll see.
At that Nico will shrug a little bit, but when he shrugs, he goes, ah. Okay, can't do that. Can't do that right now.
Careful. Don't hurt yourself.
I was just gonna say, Levi would turn to Nico and be like, "Hey, you think you could show me that like curveball move you did? Like, how did you even do that? How'd you get that pass? She had like magical feet trying to kick it and still missed."
Yeah, I gotta say, she was a bit intimidating standing up on that tree. She got some really awesome coverage, but yeah, that curve at the end definitely did help a lot. I could probably show you at some point.
That'd be great. Like, yeah, do you usually do like the Chesa position?
Most of the time. I mean, it's where all the action normally is. I mean, yeah, bludgers get a lot, and keepers get a lot, and seekers get a lot, but for a chaser, it's more consistent. I don't have to wait for something coming at me. I don't have to wait to find something. You know, it's a little bit more satisfying.
Okay. How long you gonna be out of action for?
Doc says I should be fine by tomorrow.
Well, my boy Chaz over here is dying, and he's crying about a hurt shoulder.
At this point, I'm going to say that Asa is going to knock on the side of the door, and she has a plate of food. And he says, "Asa, my sister, and I see you got me cake." Albion didn't get me cake.
I didn't make it to the food yet. I came right to you.
It says, you spend all that time trying to train up a good friend and how to be a keeper. Then the moment that he gets first place, he forgets all about you. That's right. Forget all about the little people. I understand.
You better be careful, else I'm gonna get that arm of yours.
He chuckles a little bit, and he gives you a playful punch on the arm as Asa goes over to the table, goes over to the bed, and then she places like a tray in front of him. A lot of the girls have been asking about you over there, Nico. They were wondering if they would be able to come visit you. Yeah. Doc says anyone can come visit. Come to see the one person who scored a goal the entire time. I mean, no offense, Levi, but catching a snitch is great, but scoring a goal with some ridiculously golden mag fu chick is a pretty good feat too.
Oh yeah, yours was way more impressive.
I don't know. I didn't get to see you catch the snitch, Levi. Walk us through it. I want the play-by-play. I was too busy falling to the ground.
I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even get to see me catch the snitch. I kind of just closed my eyes and grabbed, and there it was.
Well, you got it anyways. So sometimes luck plays a factor, and he kind of looks at chance.
Luck definitely played a factor. It was just luck needed a little bit more than 30 seconds to finish.
Yeah, it was like really awfully lucky how like the snitch was like way over here, you're like way over here, and all of a sudden you guys almost met up without you even moving. That was pretty lucky.
Asa pipes up. I think that you were very, very talented and skilled out there. Levi? Asa says.
Oh, well, hey, nice to meet you. Yeah, Levi. I'll say Brendan. Levi, nice to meet you.
She's gonna bow at you politely and says, "Congratulations. I'm sure that you must be very proud. You are, I suppose, a big, you are, I suppose, the star player on your team at the moment."
I wouldn't call me like the star or nothing, but I did do well. Juan out there was like ripping these balls out of other girls' hands and stuff. So I mean, he was doing pretty good. And Rox almost killed Chance, knocked the bludger right in his direction. So I mean, they did really well too. But like, oh yeah, you're Gator's girl, right?
Gators, girl?
My buddy over here, Al. Get it? Like Al, a gator, alligator.
The three of us, we're best friends, Asa says, looking at her and Nico and Al.
Yeah.
Al's just kind of staring at the two of you, watching you converse. He's not saying anything.
Please. Yeah, so like how long have you two been friends?
Oh my god.
Since we were 7. So it's been 10 years, Albion?
He kind of does the math in his head and shoots some glares at Levi's direction. Yeah, I think it's been about 10 years.
Nice. Invite me to the wedding. And then I'll just go back to like rubbing Chance's back. Like, it's all going to be okay, buddy. You're going to make it through this.
I would kind of look at Asa and just be like, don't mind him, and just kind of shake my head. He says it under his breath. Not like he knows Levi can probably hear him, but it's kind of just one of those like.
Nico looks a little like uncomfortable about this conversation. So he's going to, because he feels like the odd one out in this. So he's gonna change the subject, and he'll say, so Mr. Chogan, how long have you been, doing this thing, the whole medicine man thing? Chogan turns around. He was taking an inventory of some of the bottles in the room of the ward, and he says, I've been doing this for, I'd say, 20 years or so. Wow, 20 years. Yes, it's been a good amount of time. I've seen a lot of people. Probably helped a lot too. I'd like to think so, Chogan says.
Albion would ask him, did you study here at Ilvermorny?
He said, are you asking about my medicine skills?
Says that or your schooling.
Actually, I learned about the arts of healing from my tribe.
Where's your tribe located?
He takes a parchment out of his bag. He has a bag that he keeps, and he pulls out he unravels a scroll, and he says, the Wampanoags tribe that I am from currently is found here, and he points at Martha's Vineyard. We've been there for quite some time on one of the many, or not so many rather, reservations in the country.
So out of character, approximately how old does Chogan look?
I would say that Chogan, you would guess he actually is in his mid-40s. He looks like he could pass as somebody in their mid-30s.
Okay. And Ilvermorny, I mean, it's been there quite a while, right?
Ilvermorny's been there quite some time.
Okay. So you didn't study in a school. You just learned everything at home?
I did. And the traditions of my people we've attempted to pass them down from generation to generation. But unfortunately, many have been lost over the years, he says a little grimly. I don't really know much about the Wampa Noag tribe, Nico says. Yes, Asa says. Mr. Achak, I have to say I would love to learn more, if you don't mind. Chogan sort of chuckles a little bit. I'm afraid the stories that I have to tell about our history is rather sordid. It's not as pleasant as you might think. Oh? Why is that? Asa asks. How familiar are you with Native American history? And Asa looks a little embarrassed. Clearly, she doesn't really know much about Native American history at all. My people have had a very sordid past. I would be happy to share it with you, but I must warn you, it's not necessarily going to flatter American history very much. That's fine by me. Now you really have me curious, Asa says. Yes, I actually would like to know a little bit, a thing or two about this. I feel very secluded about things that's happening outside of Castello Bruscio and Ireland in general, really.
I'm always in the mood for a good story.
Chogan sits down a bit and he says, early contacts between the Wampanoag and the colonists date from the 16th century, when European merchant vessels and fishing boats traveled along the coast of New England. At that time, a man by the name of Captain Thomas Hunt captured several Wampanoag in 1614 and sold them in Spain as slaves. A Patuxet named Tisquantum, also known as Squanto, was bought by Spanish monks who attempted to convert him before setting him free. He accompanied an expedition to Newfoundland as an interpreter, and then made his way back to his homeland around 1619, only to discover that the entire Patuxet tribe had died in an epidemic. Then, in 1620, the Pilgrims arrived in Plymouth, and Tisquantum and other Wampanoag taught them how to cultivate the varieties of corn, squash, and beans that flourished in New England, as well as how to catch and process fish and collect seafood. They enabled the Pilgrims to survive their first winters, and Squanto lived with them and acted as the middleman between them and Massasoit, the Wampanoag chief, or Sachem at the time. Then, 7 years later, in 1627, Ilvermorny was founded, and my people were one of the two main tribes, along with the Narragansett, who helped the Sayer family build and establish this very school. I'd like to say that things between our people and the colonists improved since then. But, as many of you might know, our sordid history continues. You see, historically, my people, we always embraced magic. It was just always a part of our lives, whether you could cast it or not. Those with the ability to conjure and produce fantastical things, shamans is what we call them. It was just a part of life. Within our tribes, Both the magically gifted and those gifted in other ways lived in harmony together. It never dawned on us to try to separate our people based on magic, much less keep them a secret from the other. Unfortunately, the colonists had a habit of imposing their ways of life to those that they felt were more primitive. When the Salem witch trials began in 1692, we were blamed by the wizarding community for exacerbating it. They called us careless for being so open about magic, instead of keeping it hidden to ourselves. And they feared that such exposure, even indirectly, caused the Muggles to go on a mad witch hunt. In response to the Salem witch trials, later in 1692, the Statute of Secrecy was created, declaring by law that magic and the wizarding world must be hidden away from those who did not possess it. And then in 1707, the Ministry of Magic was officially established to help enforce it. Meanwhile, my people always considered our laws to be our own, and not to be influenced by the jurisdiction of those outside of our tribes. The colonists, however, insisted that we obey the laws of the ministry. We politely refused, at first, and the colonists at the time politely complied. But over time, they became less so polite about insisting, and in return, we became less so polite in refusing. By this point, things between our tribes and the colonists became more and more heated. We were losing more and more of our land. Epidemics continued to spread amongst the tribes. Many believed were purposely disseminated by the colonists themselves. And conflict arose, and ultimately war. In the end, we were forced to segregate ourselves between magical and non-magical tribes. Fast forward hundreds of years later to now, our present time, and we are all scattered across the country, divided in small reservations. Most tribes no longer believe in magic, or that shamans ever truly existed. Few tribes, however, have been allowed to govern themselves in such a way that both magical and non-magical members can coexist. But those are far few in between. My tribe is included in that list. And this is where we are today, Chogan says, after he tells his story.
That's a lot of history there.
Spent a lot of time studying it over the years. I think it's very important for us to remember how we got to where we were, even as ugly as it might be.
Al would look at Levi and kind of cock his head. Levi, you come from a mixed family of magic and non-magic, right?
Oh, well, something like that, yeah, kinda.
He says, I've never really thought what it would be like. I mean, I've only ever lived in the magical world, and the secrecy has been, or the statute of secrecy has just been something I've known since I was a kid. What are your thoughts on the magical world and the Muggle world, blending together? It sounds like it's not all bad.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool if everybody could just kind of be who they are all the time, whenever they want. It's really weird because there's like a lot of like Muggle like entertainment and media that portrays magic and portrays things that are unique and special, but then like they fear it at the same time if they were to see it. So it's kind of interesting.
But the Statute of Secrecy, Asa says, that was made for our protection. Not just the protection of the wizarding world, but the protection of the no-mages and muggles as well.
I don't know how it protects. I think we could all coexist one day.
I don't know, Nico says. I feel like no mages and muggles, they're not the most accepting of people. I don't know very much about history, but I heard a lot about these Salem witch trials, and I don't know. I mean, muggles
Uh,
can hardly like get along with diversity in amongst themselves, much less throwing, magic at them at the same time.
That could be said of the wizarding world too, Nico. I mean, look at the war we just came out of a few years ago. We couldn't even get along within our own society.
Yeah, but I mean that's different though.
How?
Well, I mean, like clearly, he who must not be named was a bad guy. I mean, clearly.
Well, I mean, there can be bad guys on any side in any group, right?
Who are the bad guys on our side? I don't know any bad guys on our side.
Well, I just mean in any war, people are doing something for what they think is right. Just because, I don't know, perspective is interesting. What's bad may not be bad to some people. I mean, don't get me wrong, everything that He Who Must Not Be Named stood for was bad in my opinion, and I'm not justifying it, but I don't know. People are driven by motives.
All I'm saying is when you get war, you've got the people who are right and you got the people who are wrong, and you just hope and pray that the people who are right win. Asa sort of like puts a hand on her face and she sort of shakes her head like, that's not how it works. That's not how it works.
yeah, people just kind of like, they feel what they don't understand. And if we like mixed our worlds and they start understanding our world, maybe they wouldn't fear us so much.
Chogan will say, that is something that my people have been trying to advocate for the longest time. But getting the ministry itself to buy into that's a bit more of a difficult feat.
Out of character question. Chogan was at the ministry the day Levi and Albion met. I don't think Albion met Chogan or saw him, did he?
You might have seen him. I don't think you interacted with him, but you might have seen him.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out if Al would put that together and inquire about that or not. But maybe Levi. I don't know if you remember him from there.
Yeah, I was gonna ask him about that. I just didn't know. So after he says that, yeah, Levi's be like, "Oh, have your people like figured out the whole Obliviate thing that you talked about?"
I expressed my knowledge towards the ministry. Yes.
Yeah, like it was really weird because like shortly after that, my when we got attacked on that bridge, they were gonna use like I think that same spell on my dad.
You were on the bridge?
Oh yeah, the bridge. Oh, on the bridge at London, we were attacked by like the Death Eaters. One was super hairy. That was the one that tried to get me. My dad, who's Muggle born, saved my life, and then
Fenrir Greyback.
What's his name?
You're talking about the attack by Fenrir Greyback on the bridge in London?
Oh, I don't know the guy's name, but yeah, that sounds about right. But then like we swam to the shore, and these people in like white suits came to like obliterate, until my dad stopped them.
Were they wearing white suits?
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen them before.
And that's a spell that causes like all those side effects, yeah?
It's intended to make muggles forget the magical things that they witness. But yes, I believe that there are side effects to repeated exposure to such spells. Especially when you cast it on such a wide net in a region of people, which has happened many times throughout history.
Did that happen to your people? Is that why you're fighting so hard?
He pauses a little bit as if he doesn't feel very comfortable answering that question.
Okay. If he doesn't answer that question, Levi's gonna look at Nico and be like, "Hey, Nico.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Hey. Okay, so you know the girl on our team. Her name's Roxanna. I call her Rox.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
She's
dude.
cute.
Yeah, dude. She has like a huge crush on you.
Dude, really?
Yeah, man. Like the other day, she was like, "Oh, Nico said like I was like the cutest, and I panicked, so I made fun of it. He didn't really. She likes you a lot, man. I think you should go for it."
Oh man. Did she by any chance see the goal that I made past Chesa?
Oh, she had to. I mean, it's all she would talk about in our locker room.
Oh, cool, cool. And Asa sort of like is watching this, and she says, "What kind of person exactly is Roxana?" Oh, there's my sister being all overprotective. Look, I can take care of myself, Asa. Ow, he says.
Rox is great.
Wait, it's back to front.
Wait, hold that up again. Hold that up
It
again.
says, I think it's back to front, but
You're a different man.
Yeah, like
Well, good to
Rox is
know.
great, and like she like totally likes your brother. He totally likes her. Like it's a match made in heaven.
what are you doing, bro? What are you doing?
It's a
Okay.
prank.
Oh my god.
I think Al is speechless, to be honest. He's still like, he's probably looking at Chogan, like giving him these like I'm sorry eyes. Like I don't know how to stop him sometimes. um,
Yeah, so as soon as your arm gets better and you see it, you should totally like act on that.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
So, what is she like? Is she into like chocolates? Is she into flowers? What is
She's
she
into
into?
putting frogs in punch bowls.
Oh, she was the one who did that?
Yeah, and I actually drank a bunch of that. It was disgusting. You would
I'm
think
liking
after
her
like
more and more.
Oh god.
yeah, you would think after like one drink and you're like, oh, this is gross. You kind of stop. Nah, I don't know why I kept going.
Well, thanks for letting me know, Levi.
No, oh,
You're a pal.
no problem, man. Oh, she loves flowers. Make sure you get her flowers.
And Asa says we should maybe at some point we could invite her over back at our place. Or maybe yours. Actually, yeah, Albion's, your place is way bigger than ours.
he gets pulled out of the spot that he was in. He said, "Wait, what did you say? My place about what?"
It would be like old times. You could have like a slumber party, Asa says.
When are we talking?
Yeah, like the rules say that we're allowed to go over to each other's schools for the purposes of socializing with the other members of the other team. So I'm pretty sure it's legit.
Oh, you guys mean, like soon. Oh, I would just kind of pause for a second. I mean, I think my dad. He's always away. What am I saying? He's never there. I'm sure Ellis wouldn't mind if a few of you guys came over.
Oh, I would love to see Ellis again. He's such a sweet man.
I just don't know if everyone should come over. Who are we thinking? I mean, he counts the people in the room. 1, 2, 3. There's 5 of us here. We don't want it to get too big.
No, I'm not saying everybody. I'm saying you, myself, Asa, and Roxy. The 4 of us.
Oh, so they're not invited? He looks at Levi and Chance.
I mean, it's not my place. I guess you can decide. And Chan says, I don't know if I will survive today.
I don't know if I could go if my boy dies.
And let me check with Ellis, and I'll let you guys know.
He's not going to die, Chogan says again from the back.
My poor boy, he's gonna die.
Out of character, what is Chogan's title? Is it professor? Is it healer? Is it doctor?
What do they call It's Madame Madame Pomfrey is just Madame. I think people just call him Medicine Man.
Okay. Anyways, Medicine Man, thank you for sharing that. I'm not normally one to, dive into stories or talks about politics and social issues, but I appreciate you sharing it. It definitely gives some history and some rich backstory just regarding this place and your people. So thank you.
I appreciate you listening. I think it's important to educate people because there much history that I think gets lost and swept under the rug simply because they're unpleasant and, quite frankly, puts themselves in a less than ideal light.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about history. It's not always the good things that people remember or write about, but it's important.
He will nod. And I'm going to say that at this point, there will be a knock on the door as, like, this small group of girls have arrived specifically to go see Nico.
Is Roxy in that group?
No.
I don't think so.
Yep.
Actually, as they come in, several of the girls look towards Levi, and they start whispering at each other and start pointing at Levi. It's the one. Most of them are Asian girls, but not all. A good number of them are Asian girls who have come to visit Nico, but are now like pointing at you and whispering and gossiping with each other, pointing in your direction.
I'm gonna look at the medicine man, be like, "Do you have any like slings I can use on my arm real quick? Anything?"
For what purpose?
I hurt my wrist. My wrist. Oh, my wrist. Catching that snitch really like did something to my wrist.
I think what you caught was whatever it is Chance has.
Yeah. Oh no, we're both dying. Oh no.
Chogan just kind of shakes his head and he's like ignores your request, and he turns back to the girls and says, ladies, just a few at a time. We don't want to overwhelm the people here. We'll take you in groups of 5. And the girl says, okay. And the first group of 5 go over to go by Nico's bedside and asking for like autographs and stuff like that.